live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Damage Rolls. We are doing a Fallout follow-up. Joined with me tonight, as always, we have the lovely Chef Bolg.
It's me, Bolg.
And, of course, the whimsical Loke the Bard.
Not so musical.
We're just kind of, cards on the table. We're kind of winging it tonight. I didn't do a lot of prep work. But it's been a couple weeks since Fallout, so we're going to get into that.
Don't have a bell, so I can just shame.
There's a lot going on. So we're just gonna talk about, Fallout, reactions being a couple weeks out from the release date. Do you guys have anything that you want to kick us off with?
Well, some of the numbers have come out for Fallout.
Please
enlighten us. And it is definitely one of the most successful Amazon Prime streaming shows in the history of Amazon Prime. But it is also one of the most successful overall streaming shows.
That is honestly, for a video game IP, that is the best thing we could have asked for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think Stranger Things and I think Squid Games are off. Don't quote me on that. You can look it up yourselves unless somebody has the real numbers. I believe those are the only two that are actually at a higher.
I would say Mr. Producer Chop Chop, but you're the one hosting this.
I know my roles are changing a little bit, but yeah, we'll get that. Here, I'll see if I can pull it up on the side.
We can throw a link in. I know a couple sites that that give those numbers that I can throw a link into the comments.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm afterwards, but yeah,
pull it up here to see.
It's one of those things where Fallout has definitely been one of Amazon's most successful.
GameIndustry.biz is saying 65 million in 16 days.
Yeah,
which is impressive.
That speaks on the quality of the show itself, but also, when you do an IP without betraying that IP, it is always more successful. I mean, we could list so many examples out there right now where they've done, and not just video game IP, just IPs in general, where it feels like they're spitting in the eyes of the fans.
Some have been really bad, but there's also been some fantastic fan adaptations.
Yeah.
I would say probably the most prominent, I mentioned this on the Fallout episode, was the Halo show.
Yeah.
A lot of people
spit in the eye.
Loke, if I recall, you got through episode 1 and or 2?
Yeah, I got through the first couple episodes of season 1, and was like, this isn't Fallout.
Halo.
Halo, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't Fallout. What's going on?
Halo. But, did you ever see, there was a low-budget movie that was on Netflix for a while, Halo Fall of the Reach?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
And it's like, it takes place in a military academy in the Fallout universe.
Okay. In the Halo universe.
Halo universe, yeah. I'm going to be doing that all night. Not enough caffeine. But it takes place in the Halo universe. And then, basically there's an attack and Master Chief comes in and saves everybody.
Okay.
Excellent. True to the game. But, I mean, it was a low budget, but it was a good true to the game adaptation. What they did for the TV show was a spit in the face of fans of the Halo game.
I made it through the trailer. I couldn't. The trailer itself made me go, I'm not going to watch this.
So I watched all of season 1 when it came out, and all of season 2 after the hurricane had prompted me to do so. And I watched it right at the time Fallout was coming out, and it Fallout leaves Halo in the dust on every aspect. I don't want to shit. I think it's important to shit on the show correctly, because I think the actors involved within the show did their best to fill their character and act their hearts out.
Well, and if they didn't call the show Halo, if it was just some random sci-fi
IP,
IP, where they treated it as a new IP, it may have been tolerable. The acting, special effects, those kind of things.
Some of the acting was cool. Like the energy sword fight scenes were really good, but that's like where 80% of their budget probably went, if I had to guess.
But yeah. So I don't know what they were thinking. I mean, one, in the video game, they should have treated Master Chief the way they treat Din Djarin in Mandalorian, where they never take his freaking helmet off.
That, yeah.
You should have seen John, the character John, up until he gets that helmet. Once that helmet is on, it never comes off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how you should treat him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go back. There's an old Kurt Russell movie, Soldier.
Okay.
Which they say is the spiritual sequel to the original Blade Runner.
Okay.
But it's not actually a sequel to Blade Runner, but it kind of has that kind of vibe. That would have made an excellent way to do Halo. They're basically genetically engineered super soldiers, and then there's a new model line comes out of new and improved super soldiers, and they basically, because they dropped the old ones on a planet in the trash heap, and then of course the old ones wind up fighting the new ones. Great movie.
So this is Soldier.
Yeah,
okay.
Probably a little dated by modern standards and modern special effects, but the idea would have worked for a Halo game. But again, they spat in the face. They completely went with something completely. You can tell they weren't fans of the game. They were using the game to get extra numbers, and that is the worst kind of adaptation, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, if you're adapting something, you're adapting it to take advantage of the existing fan base's numbers. If you're going to take advantage of the existing fan base's numbers, you need to make those people happy first.
I think Fallout was an interesting, experiment because, ironically, but because it did a good job at making the show accessible to a new audience while pleasing fans of the game, giving Easter eggs to the hardcore fans, but you still have people who are throwing hissy fits that it was not 100% lore accurate. And
which is bullshit anyway.
I don't have all the information on that, so I was going to refer to you guys if you can.
I had a video that I had recorded, and I didn't like how it turned out because I got a little pumped. And
here's your pedestal, bud. Let us know.
I was a little angry at some stuff because I was reading off comments, and I just decided, you know what, I'm not going to call out people. I'm not going to, be that asshole. So, but right now, I will say there are people who got really upset that they assumed that the lore was being destroyed. They were retconning the events of Fallout New Vegas. They were acting like it didn't happen because it wasn't a Bethesda game. You guys do realize that game was commissioned by Bethesda.
And
it's a part of the canon.
Both Bethesda and Obsidian are both now Microsoft companies. They both are part of the same parent company now.
Right. And Todd Howard
don't hate each other at all.
Todd Howard early on in production said, we are not messing with the canon of any of the games. And then they were pointing out like, oh, well, there's the fall of Shady Sands and in 2077, and that doesn't line up because Fallout New Vegas is 2081. Okay. The fall of Shady Sands does not mean that's when it got nuked. Yeah. That just means it fell, which would explain where the NCR goes.
Even after it got nuked, the NCR could still be having activity in Nevada.
Right. Do you guys not know how government and militaries work? It's not like the snake. You cut off the head, the rest of it dies. You cut off the head, two more take its place. One of those is going to be just as dangerous.
Yeah. I believe the exact quote from Todd Howard is, they are threading the needle a little close. But one, they identify a year. A year is a long time. So if it happened at the very end of 77, almost 78, and then New Vegas takes place at the beginning of 81,
Right. And
it's even closer than you think. And that board doesn't say that it has at Shady Sands, the fall of Shady Sands, and then there's an arrow to the right, as in
which,
in the future there's a bomb.
yeah,
So Shady Sands could have had an economic downturn. They could have, had some internal strife in 70. It's a historic event. Something happened in 77 locally that was important enough for them to note, and then sometime after 77, it was nuked.
Okay.
I would care to hazard a guess that is when the Legion made themselves known in Nevada, and that is when the NCR split into two halves. One that said, "Oh no, we're not dealing with this kind of shit in our area," and then one that said, "Oh, they're over there. Our problems are right here." And then they just went their separate ways. That would be my guess, because that makes a lot of sense lore wise. But the whole discourse it infuriates me. Guys, this is a well-made show. They knew what they were doing.
I think certain people get very caught up on the total accurate, on like the perfect accuracy of it. But like, you shouldn't have to be a professor of the Fallout history of the Fallout universe to both understand it as a watcher.
Luke's character about to come out of me. Actually,
I'm sorry.
You also have. There's a certain segment of the Fallout fandom who are in anything but Bethesda. They love 1 and 2 and New Vegas. They will shit on 3 and 4.
Okay.
Simply because it is Bethesda.
Interesting.
Even though there are advancements in 3 over 1, because 1 and 2 were isometric top down, completely different type of game, where 3 is now a first person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Like that or don't like that, that is a technological step forward in the game.
Do you guys think that if they remastered, like, how well do you think it would do if they took like the storyline of the first Fallout games, remastered it into what we know today, and like redistribute?
There is so much in those first 2 games they would have to redo because of how problematic they would be these days.
Really?
I mean, imagine how we as people talked in the 2000s that these days is not allowed. That was all over those games.
Interesting.
Some of the plot points would be frowned upon, even though they were brought back in New Vegas, slavery and all that. I think a remaster of those 2 games would have to be from a studio who's willing to go from the ground up. I don't think you could.
And you're also talking the kind of investment like the Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy
VII
remaster, where the cost of it, the remaster would come out not as one game for each game, but it would come out multiple sessions to make it worth the money that they'd have to spend, because they would have basically they would take the script from the game and build a whole new game. The technology is just that. I mean, it's
that's what
1997 is when the first one came out.
I mean, they honestly, if they wanted, I'm sorry, go ahead, Luke.
It's not just a quick reskin that they can do and send out, a candy coating on the top. They would have to rebuild everything from scratch.
What could they do? Like, if it was me, I would, spend the money to remaster the first 2 and sell those, and also like you could do a remastered like from the top down view while also developing like the third person shooter. They could make a lot of money that way. I think if they're trying to like bring back the Fallout franchise.
But if they did that, I mean, we're already looking at 6 years before we see a Fallout 5.
More than that.
They said they're amping up production of it though.
Yeah.
They're amping up production. They're amping up production is what they said. They didn't say of what. I'm guessing they're because Fallout is super popular right now. They're going to try and keep us satiated with the stuff we're going to get into later, while at the same time ramping up production of Elder Scrolls 6 to pump that out so they can then focus on Fallout 5. Because they said they are devoted to Elder Scrolls 6 right now.
Which is how we got New Vegas in the first place.
Yeah, they could absolutely outsource to a different studio.
Yeah. So there may be a Fallout 4.5 of some kind that they outsource somewhere and put it out just to.
And there are some really talented teams working on mods for Fallout 4 that you could just go, hey, that mod, let's give you this budget for this many years, make it a game. Yeah. Fallout London, Fallout Miami, go for it. Go and do it.
The Bethesda turnaround time, they're going to need at least 4 years once they actually start.
They could 100%.
So let's say they started today. Mm-hmm. It's still 2028 before you see something.
True.
That's 4 seasons of the show.
I wonder if they could, if they put out like a whole mod pack based on, Lucy's Vault and just, went that path with it.
Yeah.
For a Fallout 4 extension.
I'm sure the Creation Club will have all of that in there if it doesn't already.
What is that?
I haven't specifically looked, but
the Creation Club is content made by modders, but approved for by Bethesda that you buy and pay for. They're not regular mods. Regular mods are released free to the community. You can do whatever you want with them. But the Creation Club you pay for.
Okay.
Yeah, the Creation Club, Bethesda went, hey, that's a cool mod. We're going to take that and sell it to our customers.
Yeah, we're going to give you credit. We're going to give you a small bit of the proceeds. Cool beans, huh?
But the nice thing with Creation Club mods is they don't disable your trophies and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
They are treated as DLC.
That's a cool
even
feature,
though they are much smaller than you would expect for a DLC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But they are also a cash grab because almost all of them cost. They do the games where it's
it's 100 points is $1. So
yeah, and then they charge you 101 for a game for a mod.
Right.
Yeah, they did with the recent update to Fallout 4. They did offer quite a bit of some of the more popular packs for free with the next gen update, which was a really nice touch. Too bad that they didn't work until very recently. I logged in last night and I finally got to see what the Chinese grenade launcher looks like because it was actually loading in and it was actually not firing exclamation points instead of the MO.
I had to delete all my save files and start fresh because something got corrupted in one of their updates where they look like juggalos. They had pink hair and blue beards and just something got corrupted in the update process. They got a lot of bad press with that new update.
Yeah, which they, to their credit, they turned right around and a week later it's fixed. So they did what they needed to do. I wish they would do that a little bit with 76. We were playing with Felix and he was T-posing most of the time we were playing.
Oh man.
Just kind of floating along, T-posing, jumping. He was just showing his dominance. It's fine. But to the point, they have the opportunity to really capitalize on the release of this show, how much the numbers of people who jumped on Fallout 4, who jumped on Fallout New Vegas, who bought packs that included all of the games. It's insane.
Yeah.
Millions of players.
We mentioned before the show come out, I had 100% at Fallout 4 during the pandemic. I've gone and reloaded it and restarted playing Fallout 4 again since the show. It got me, and I had tried 76, and a Bug had tried 76, and it was
Oh no!
Here we are with Felix trying it all over again, multiple years later after it's come out.
Welcome to live TV, folks.
Yeah, there's production problems.
Yeah, well,
Mr. Producer problems.
But,
yeah.
So
where am I? Level 50 now in Fallout 4. We just got to level 4 and 76 for just one night's play.
Yeah.
So they drew us back in successfully.
Yeah. So the money is definitely, the success on the money side is definitely there. They just need to keep that quality for season 2.
They're banking a lot right now on the Spaceballs model.
Merchandising.
We got Fallout the soda. We got Fallout the coffee. We got Fallout the card game.
Touche, my friend. I did not. Yeah, that's a good point.
They are banking so much right now on like the merchandising section of stuff, which is doing exceedingly well. I'm
Nerds
planning to. I mean, they've got a Pit Boy that they're selling on the Bethesda Gear Store. That's $200, but it's a working Pit Boy.
It's a die-cast, right?
Die-cast working Pit Boy. They're just pre-ordering right now, and they're gonna get my money.
I fucking knew they were.
Because if nothing else, it has a nice little stand and you can use it as an alarm. But why wouldn't you put together a cosplay and wear it because it's a functional Pit Boy?
Do you think, a Vault Survivor is going to be a popular Halloween costume this year?
Oh, absolutely.
Is it going to be like Harley Quinn levels of impact, or do you think it'll just have they'll just be the Devoteds?
Yeah, Right now, it's probably just the Devoteds, because we're gonna see what we got. We got a lot of pop culture stuff to come between now and Halloween.
Holy shit, there's a lot. On the horizon, I know we got Deadpool and Wolverine, House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings Season 2. What else am I missing here, fellas? Acolyte's coming out.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
The anime slates.
Most of that is just June. Most of what you just listed is just. There's more.
Oh shit! I don't know what just happened. Hold on, folks. We are suffering technical difficulties as I try and get them back into this Discord. Hold on. Hello? Are you guys there? Hello?
We're here.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what just happened there, but I think we're good now. So
okay.
All of a sudden, I was alone. I'm sorry. What were we discussing?
There's the delay. The delay has just caught up. We're all back on.
Okay. We're all back.
Although, yeah. So
we were speaking merchandising. Oh,
and then we went. All that pop culture stuff that's coming out in June. So it may take some of the wind from
It's really a 24-hour news cycle. It's kind of crazy.
Vault Dweller now. If Bethesda releases something, even if it's just a DLC,
now we're getting to the point.
Back out.
We're getting to the point where they are releasing things, but maybe in the wrong way. I mean, depending on how you view certain properties like Fortnite. That was the big announcement today, is that there's a Fallout update coming to Fortnite. There's
to me
Fallout operators coming to Modern Warfare.
Really?
Yes, with I guess a power armored theme Juggernaut suit. I'm trying to think of what else was teased or rumored or announced.
That's the fucking way. Like, licensing is like the way to go, because Fortnite is
still
beast.
still a beast.
To remain as big and relevant as it
I mean,
as it has for 6+ years now.
We didn't get to it, which is a total shame because all of us are big fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, especially Mr. Producer.
Yes.
Rocket League had Avatar: The Last Airbender skins for the cars.
I forgot about that. Shoot.
Yeah, I don't even know if they're available anymore.
Yeah, I don't think, probably not. I'll just check that out.
But I would not be surprised if, because Epic has got the stuff coming to Fortnite, if we see Fallout skins for Rocket League. Might get my money there. Yeah. I played Rocket League enough.
Season 2 of Fallout has been greenlit. So that's going to be one of the big determining factors. If Fallout Season 2 is hitting, within the year mark, I think you will see it snowball a lot more. Maybe you'll see the big Halloween carryovers if they're already starting to come October advertising Season 2.
I don't think we're going to see it within a year. I think we're going to see it next year. Because as far as I know...
Yeah, that's why I meant 12 months from now.
Okay, yeah.
By this time next year. By this time 2025.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, come October, you may see the first trailer. And that might remind people, and they'll go back out, and then you might see the Fallout costumes for Halloween.
We are seeing a bit of the Fallout effect. Elsewhere, though, I was just looking today and looking at some numbers on Spotify, and artists like the Ink Spots, Kay Kaiser, Johnny Mercer, the Andrews Sisters, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, Johnny Cash. All these artists are climbing the numbers.
Golden age.
Yeah, because that's the music that's attached to the show and attached to the games. I know I have it on loop at work because I have a ton of it. They have a giant track list of everything that's been used since the first Fallout. So we're seeing it in things other than just video game or media or visual media. We're seeing it audio media. We're seeing it. People are making Etsy stores and releasing, unlicensed but can't get it anywhere else, stuff. I'm not going to shout anybody out, not to get anybody shut down, but I did get some awesome Nuka-Cola caps that I'll use as action points in the Fallout 2D20 system game I'm running, which is it's a beast all its own. We were talking about lore. I have a timeline that goes back to 2056.
Holy
the game
shit.
doesn't take place until 2288.
This is the game that is being brought to you by a resident novelist who, it wasn't so bad for my game, but I've heard Loke has received some odd number many pages throughout the years of background and information.
Yours wasn't bad because it was just, you can scroll through it. On the page, like I wrote it, it was 3 pages. So, yes.
Your backstory?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Though my backstory for Loke's new game is only 16 words so far. I need to come up with another couple people. Right now it's just his mom, but we'll get there. But yeah, I've between calls at work, because I work scheduling for an orthopedic company. Between calls, I get a minute and a half. During that minute and a half, I am working entirely on the Fallout game. I have NPCs, stores, business names, the timeline. I've made a map. I've made a different map that shows places that you don't have names for. I have...
That feels like an incredibly meticulous way to go about writing, a minute and a half at a time. I need time for the juices to flow and the neurons to connect.
That's the thing. Multitasking.
Yeah.
Because I shouldn't be, but I am working on it on calls as well. But
in Minecraft, guys, in Minecraft, that's the blanket disclaimer for if you say anything,
you admit on the internet to something that could get you fired.
you put out the disclaimer in Minecraft, and you're legally I'm not a lawyer, but
I'm not a lawyer, but legally you're okay. Like, you just killed that man. I'm not a lawyer, but I think you'll be fine legally.
But yes, that's.
And I'm running it for what, 5 people?
We had 7. 5 were at the table, and other, we have a couple of digital players.
Well, they haven't said they wanted to play.
They have not yet said, but
so I think those 5 are my current, audience.
I never got more than the core 4 to join. Core 4 and a floater were my games.
But for those 5 people, I have put in hours worth of work. I won't say gigabytes worth of data because, come on, it's text files. But bytes of data.
Right.
Just because of my love of Fallout, and to circle way back around, the Fallout show really helped reignite that. I have had that book sitting on my shelf for 2 years, and now I'm finally getting around to writing the game I wanted to run.
That's cool.
And I'm really happy with how it's going.
And there are certain people that are at our regular gaming table on our regular gaming night who would not be playing this game without this TV show.
Yes.
The idea that Felix is paying something
that's not D&D.
That's not D&D. He said in the past he has no interest in learning another system or playing a different game. The TV show got him into this one.
I'm excited to see it. So Felix is writing his one shot for us tonight. I just spoke with him recently. He said he's having a great time writing again, and I was just curious because he made a comment last weekend, Bold. Did some of the work that I put into the Avatar campaign kind of help inspire?
I will say this. Mm-hmm. Your use of props made me have to step up to the point where my props were involved in the 0 session. Screw you. I made envelopes with Vault-Tec Corporation on them, gave them Vault-Tec labeled reassignment sheets for their Vault characters to what jobs they'll be doing in my first session. That was really my 0 session.
It was really like Bull gave us our Vault assignments based on our special score, which was really a fantastic idea. It was cool getting a letter, and it helped with the immersion into the universe. It was fun.
It was fun because one character, Nickel Wart, decided to make his stats as even as he possibly could. So I got to give him the unlucky job of the luck skill test subject. So we'll get to have some fun with that. But I also, like I said, I bought bottle caps. Those are going to be used as your action points because you get, only a certain amount of action points. I have a different set of bottle caps that are just a pool. I have these bottle caps if I really want to pull them off. I have more of those bottle caps on the way because I have more players than I thought I was going to have. And then I have a notebook coming in just for me to write notes down, similar to what you guys do in game. That's Fallout branded.
Yeah.
If nothing else, my love of this game that I had inked into my skin
mm-hmm.
has been completely and totally reignited to the point where I'm ready to have it inked into my skin again.
That's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'm the Avatar campaign, and it's not yet been officially announced, but I believe that Life is just having me put it on hiatus for a time. I ended it in a pretty solid spot, I think.
Now, if the Avatar TV show had been better,
yeah,
would that have affected your motivation?
It's very possible because I have some ideas that are like rattling around, but I'm trying to get make some money right now. So once things are in a little better spot, then I'll explore returning to it. But the point I was trying to make was I love the Avatar. I love the Avatar IP. I think it's a fantastic IP, and I was able to put some of my creativity and love into it. So I'm excited to see what Bolg is able to do with an IP that he loves.
I have storylines. I have hooks for those storylines. But the big thing I have is the exact same thing that Fallout has given you since the very beginning. A sandbox, go and play.
Cool. That is, and we've kind of hijacked the episode for D&D again, but it's fine. It's my show. We can do what we want.
Well, while we're on the subject, speaking of D&D and things coming to things that maybe shouldn't be getting that IP added to them, did you guys see that Vecna is coming to Dead by Daylight?
I did see that, and
I saw it because somebody on this show sent it to me.
Because I'm a horror lover, so of course I play Dead by Daylight, and of course I'm going to buy Vecna because why not?
So Dead by Daylight's an interesting one for me because I bought it when it was on sale to play it, and I just didn't really fall in love with it. Not like I see there are some Twitch streamers that they are like they love that game. It didn't catch me, but if Vecna's in it, I might shell out a few dollars to check it out again.
It caught me insofar that as a lover of horror, the certain aspects of the gameplay I love enough to come back to it occasionally. It's not enough to hook me and keep me hooked, but it is enough to, if I'm in the mood for it, I'll play it.
Yeah.
It's a good gameplay loop. It's just not sustainable for multiple playthroughs. I come back for the new stuff. I come back for the recognizable horror villains. I come back for the new villains that are completely made up. The survivors. I think there's the one for Vecna is an elven survivor in the trailer. I think it's the one that makes it to the hand of Vecna. And honestly, I could see Fallout doing Dead by Daylight as well. I could see it because how much of Fallout is crafting? And what are you doing in Dead by Daylight? Fixing shit all over the place.
There are horror parts too, where like there's a mission that you get in Good Neighbor.
Pikmin.
Pikmin, yeah. Yeah, there's a mission in Good Neighbor where you're basically investigating a serial killer artist who's basically turning the dead bodies into artwork.
And whose stomach hasn't dropped when you're not in power armor in survival mode and an alpha deathclaw comes up out of nowhere?
Yeah. Even not in survival mode.
If Pit-Boys
it's a run ruiner, I swear.
If Pit-Boys were real, do you think you guys would wear one?
Absolutely.
It's no different than carrying a cell phone.
It's this and your cell phone all in one on your wrist.
Interesting.
And it's fashionable.
I think it would completely rely on how comfortable the stupid thing was.
That's what I was thinking too. Because like if it's bulky, I like to lay my arm flat.
Well,
I don't even wear a watch or bracelets or anything,
Ella Purnell said that it was at first it was bulky, at first it was cumbersome, but then she got used to it.
Interesting.
I think that's the whole thing with it, is that at first it's annoying, but then you get used to it. I think it's the same with any like jewelry you're not used to wearing.
You adapt.
These were annoying when I first got them, but now they're just there.
Yeah.
I don't even think about it.
But the way I'm thinking about comfortable though is like if you can run with them on the way you can in the game,
they fit snug.
Without them slipping and sliding and with getting all disgusting and sweaty.
I mean, they're gonna.
Yeah.
But how well you can maintain them, clean them, that kind of stuff too.
Because it all depends on how they did the lining, I guess is the best way to do it.
I was just curious what you guys were thinking.
Think about, I don't know if any of you ever got the runner things.
Oh yes.
Your cell phone. There are worse solutions out there than what a Pip-Boy would be.
Yeah.
I think in-game Lord's leather. So
yeah,
it would get a little gross.
Yes.
But
yeah,
if they were
Florida
to,
heat, yeah, that would.
if it were some other material that is moisture wicking and easy to clean with just like a spray bottle and some wipes.
Yeah, because you don't want it to be too porous like a cloth that absorbs the sweat
Right.
either.
Yeah. Because then you got a stinky pit boy all the time.
Just interesting to think. Technology is advancing so fast. It's like
It's so fast that we're gonna come back around, and the 1950s are back, baby. And
yeah, but
nuclear war might be
who's
there too.
ever run with their phone. I don't run anymore. I'm old, but there was a time when I had to run regularly.
Yes.
And if you've ever tried running with your cell phone without some kind of
either holding it or
holder,
it.
where you're running with it in your hand, you would think that somebody would be already selling something that just put it on the inside of your arm to just.
It'll be interesting to see if anything comes of it. So.
Oh, speaking of Assassin's Creed, sorry, terrible segue, but we're starting to run out of time. I want to hit on a couple of these other things that are new and hot, and all the kids are talking about. Assassin's Creed just dropped their new trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadow, which is
Ninja Assassin's Creed.
It maybe not the best name, considering one of the main characters is a black guy. But I mean, it is historically Yasuke, the Black Samurai.
Okay.
And it's the first dual protagonist, not in the way that you can flip between male and female characters. There is a male character, there is a female character, a samurai and a shinobi, and I think that's going to bring an interesting thing because there are people who really like the upfront, close quarters combat version of the new Assassin's Creed, and there are people who like the classic stealth-based Assassin's Creed. Yeah. And I think it's going to be interesting to see where they take those two. So, the trailer looks awesome. So,
I'm sorry. Did women play a martial role, like a militant role in feudal Japan?
There were some. For the most part, it was men. Mm-hmm. There were a lot more like female ninjas, kunoichi. Yeah, because the kunoichi was of a different caste. They were more often than not peasants, and they were defending their own lands. So, of course, women got involved because it's their land too. Mm-hmm. It's their husband's land. It's their, dead husbands, whatever. They got involved because they could, because they were smaller, they were sneakier, they could do it.
And when you're trying to, real world, trying to assassinate somebody, it's not normally the fighting, type of action movies, type assassin stuff that you see in Assassin's Creed. It's normally, she gets him to go sleep with her, and while he's asleep, she'll slit his throat.
There's a Japanese myth called Yuki Onna, and it's a woman who lures men back to a house and then devours them. She sprouts a giant, hideous smile. In a lot of it, I think, comes from kunoichi that would lure men back and then kill them. Mm-hmm. And then the body would disappear because they were very good at what they did, and it was next week's compost. So I think it's going to be as historically accurate as it can be for Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, you got to remember this. First and foremost, this is Assassin's Creed. You're not playing it for historical accuracy.
Yeah,
that's fair. I was just curious.
As somebody who really liked Valhalla, it wasn't historically accurate at all. First of all, there weren't nearly enough different types of people who were Vikings. I know that they were directly from the region of Norway, but still Irish Vikings, Russian Vikings, Black Vikings, they all existed because Viking was a job, not a type of people. At least here, they are recognizing that samurai is a job. Shinobi is a job. It's not a people. So I'm looking forward to it with the same amount of tentative optimism as I did with Valhalla. And like I said, I ended up enjoying Valhalla immensely.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think the Assassin's Creed mythos, the style of what Assassin's Creed assassins are, they're probably just going to overplant that over top of the ninja mythos. I think it would be a lot more fun to do a spy versus spy type Assassin's Creed, where you have the Assassin's Creed organization. I can't remember what their organization's called. Brotherhood.
The Assassins.
I think Brotherhood.
Yeah. The Brotherhood of Assassins. Yeah.
Yeah. I think having the Brotherhood of Assassins go up against the League of Shadows in like a maybe a 2-player Assassin's Creed where
cool.
I think that would be really, but I don't think they did something that cool. I think this is going to be a typical Assassin's Creed game set in Japan.
Yeah, most likely.
Which is what fans have been asking for from the beginning, and I never understood because the assassin was based on the Hashashin, like the original Assassin's Creed took place in the Middle East. That's what they're based on. Why do you want ninjas? Go play Tenchu.
And like I said, that's why I think it would have been more fun if you had the two organizations playing a cat and mouse type.
But I do like.
But I don't think they'll go that way. I think
I like the separation though. I like if you want to be straightforward, choose Yasuke. If you want to do the stealthy stuff, choose Naoe. So, it's to each his own. Recently with Assassin's Creed, we don't know if it's going to be open world like the last few games have been, but like I said, I dug the trailer. I'm timidly optimistic, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and I'm a bad judge on I haven't played the Assassin's Creed since Black Flag. That was the last good one in my. Well, I shouldn't say I haven't played it. I haven't played more than a day or two of it because I didn't like any of the new ones.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, sorry, I'm kind of taking the hosting duties away.
This is the Fallout recap, and you know what? I'm not ashamed to say you're our Fallout guy, so I can.
But I'm moving on to other things. So I was gonna say.
Segue.
I'm just kind of chilling tonight, my friend. So if you got shit to talk about, I am more than happy to hit listen.
Yeah.
So the other thing I was gonna say of recently announced things. Of all places, Game Informer got the first look at the cover art for the D&D 2024 books. The reason I bring it up here and not RFE is because, well, it's going to be next week before we can get to it. It's hot and new right now.
There's a solid 7 24-hour news cycles between now and then.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, it was the game.
We will probably still touch on and go more in depth there.
Yeah, I'm just announcing it here.
But
am I able to show it on the live stream?
I don't know. I don't know if that will get us.
If there are things you can show. Just depends how you do it.
We're gonna, because I don't know, we're gonna play it safe. If you want to see it, it's just type in Game Informer. It's the first link that pops up. I like this though. It's pretty cool. Is any of this? All of this is human created. Yes, there's no.
That is
a
big part of the article actually, where they're showing how it went from concept to final product as their way of proving that it's not computer generated.
I have some thoughts on AI, and unfortunately, the episode that we went into it on is lost to the sands of time.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't pointing fingers.
Your fingers didn't need to be pointed. I'm sorry.
I'm sitting right here. No, it's all good, but AI is so fast advancing. We could definitely go into it at another point with a whole new view. But I know Wizards has had some controversy in the past regarding AI art. So I was just curious.
Yeah, and
this specifically has had a lot of.
I don't know if you've looked through the Gamer Informer article with some of the
now.
pictures that they have. I like some of the things they the idea behind some of the things. Like they're putting on the left-hand page of each new class and subclass, there will be, each page will start on the left-hand side, so you don't get that where a class ends and then another one begins on the right-hand page.
Thank God.
Yeah. But on that first page, there will be an art, what they're calling, and I forget the term, but I think they call it iconic example of the art. Like, so for the wild mage, you will have a picture of a wild mage sorcerer on that first page to kind of give you a.
Probably they might be pulling from lore as well, so you might expect to see like Nissa from Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, and that's something else they bring up on that they did with the like the player's handbook. They pulled heroes from
it's just
their lore stuff, and then like the DMG, they're pulling villains.
Yeah, Dragonlance, Ravenloft are a couple they have listed here, and then DMG is all about villains, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, I like some of the things they're doing thematically, on like the marketing side.
Thematically, yay. Mechanically,
the more pictures they're able to fit in nicely to the DMG, I think is better, because being not every monster has a picture that goes with it, but the ones that do, it's nice to have a easy reference that you can pull from without needing a third party search engine.
Yeah, but when it comes down to it, though, D&D is about the rules mechanics.
True.
And
not the show for it. We're just gonna we're gonna gloss over it.
Keep moving.
Yeah, but so the artwork, it's nice. I like the idea. The theme is nice. It's not what's going to get me to buy a book, though.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys think of the price? Because the article's saying $49.99 a book for pre-order.
That's standard player's handbook
Pretty
price.
Standard. I wasn't.
Well, that was the price prior to the releasing that they were coming out with a new. Then all of a sudden it got discounted. So a lot of people thinking the price has always been the $30 point. No, it's been at $30 for the last year, because they're trying to get rid of all their stock of the old ones before the new one comes out. Because once the new one comes out, you will not be able to get the old one anymore. So if you don't have one and you want one, you might want to go buy one real quick.
Yeah, I gotta pick one up, right?
Because after the new stuff comes out and they stop selling the old ones,
I might pick
get
one
the collector price on them.
I might pick one up just to hold as a collector's edition. Because how much does OG D&D go for?
A lot.
Yeah,
probably
some of the old ones, the first edition stuff. When we were doing that episode, I want to say that it was something like $1,800 or something like that for the original.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Nigel Ward is sitting on a gold mine, and he has no interest, which I wouldn't either. I mean, I still have my second edition Fighter's Handbook that's worth like $53 that I think I paid $8 for.
Nice.
So I think I grabbed it at a yard sale. But with this new artwork, I am glad that they are kind of course correcting after all the Magic controversy, and are showing that they are trying to at least make things look nice, if not play nice.
Again, I've said before, I bow down to our AI overlords. I'll serve them instead of them serving me.
But
we're in a final few minutes here.
Well, we did miss a couple, because it is such a long cycle between our we do 2 weeks between these. Like things like the new stills of the new Superman, James Gunn's Superman shots.
Oh
yeah.
We missed that. I mean, it's old news at this point,
right?
But, yeah. So there are a couple other things we could go into.
If you guys have something, we can spend the next 10 minutes just speed round, run through.
Yeah. What is it? Ralph Ineson is Galactus. He got cast as Galactus. That's another one I got from Game Informer.
That was quiet. I don't know if it was quiet. I don't want to say it's quiet news. I think there's just so much happening.
There is a lot
in
going
the world and pop culture and social media.
And it's also disappointing because that means the Fantastic Four once again will be fighting the same bad guy once again.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like them you don't want Superman to fight Lex Luthor in the first movie because he fights Lex Luthor in every movie. You know, it's the same with the Fantastic Four. You don't want them to fight a Doom or Galactus because those are the only two people they ever fight.
What are some other good villains that the Fantastic Four have fought over the years?
In movies?
In their story, or the only ones I really know are Galactus and
but they're still Marvel Universe, so any of the Marvel,
just anyone in Marvel they could is a potential foe. That makes sense, duh. But
I don't read the Fantastic Four comics, so I can't tell you who they're. I mean, Doctor Doom is their big villain.
That's right.
And then Galactus also has been.
There's plans for Doctor Doom, right? So like Galactus might be their intro. Galactus doesn't feel like an intro villain.
Exactly,
though.
and that's the thing. They're fast forwarding this to make it fit into the current Marvel universe. You know, they're gonna skip, I'm sure, the origin story and all that, and they're gonna sew something in to make them an active longtime superhero team and jump right into the action with them.
Then Galactus has also been, kind of a jobber in terms of Marvel villains. He's come to Earth multiple times and multiple times been told, no, go away.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could all be leading to a joke. And if that's the joke, I'm here for it. But if done the correct way, let's not have, Thor Ragnarok level jokes, but
I'm so excited for Deadpool and Wolverine. I've been excited for this. I commented on a YouTube post back in 2013 about it. I was like, I want Deadpool versus Wolverine. And I never thought it would happen. And then here we are in 2024. We have Deadpool and Wolverine coming in a month's time.
In the Disney Marvel universe.
Yes. But
he's Marvel Jesus.
I have faith in Ryan Reynolds by this point that if something was wrong, I think he would hey, this is wrong.
Right, but I also don't think this will save the Marvel universe in the same way that James Gunn's Guardian of the Galaxy 3 still did well, even though all the rest of Marvel's movies did bad last year.
But there's a difference between doing well and what Wolverine and Deadpool is going to do on opening day.
But that's what I'm saying. It's going to do well on its own. I don't think that's going to mean Marvel's fixed.
I don't think it. I agree, look. I don't think it's gonna magically fix it. But from what I've seen through the trailer, they have the potential to use it as a vehicle to streamline and soft reset the Marvel universe moving forward.
Yeah, but I don't think they will.
You don't think they will?
No.
Okay, interesting.
I think this is going to be as standalone as the Guardians of the Galaxy was.
We've already seen the TVA,
touch with cameos and kind of like Deadpool always has done, where you'll get the screenshot where they're when all the old X-Men were locked in the room and closed the door to hide from him in the second one.
that was a brilliant scene.
You'll get some kind of cameos like that, but with instead of X-Men with Marvel characters. But when you go whatever movie comes out next. Is Captain America or is it?
I think it's Captain America.
Yeah, if Captain America, Fantastic Four, whichever one comes next, I don't think you'll get hardly a reference to anything that happened in Deadpool Wolverine,
unless it plays with that entirely, where it's he runs in through a portal, and then the Fantastic Four are fighting in the background and jumps out through another portal. And in that movie, you just see it happen in the background.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at is they have, from what we've been giving in the trailers, they've set up this kind of like this vehicle that if they were if they were going to make a drastic change, this is like the time to like. Right. You've got Loki actors with the TV, like you've got like the TVA, this established like extra dimensional, time authority. Like fucking use it. Like
the only change like that I can see them actually hammering home is the Kang change.
Yeah. Well, that's certain. That is for certain.
Technically, Loki too kind of already did that. But that was on the television. They could hammer that change home on the movie side by either having a Kang that is played by a different actor or alluding in a post-credit scene to a new big threat that's going to replace Kang.
It might even be Cassandra Nova. Who knows? Yeah. We could be getting the Onslaught storyline.
What I miss a lot about Marvel is just the hype of it. One thing I remember, I forget if it was end of Iron Man or end of Captain America, but when they cut to the end credit scene, and in The Rock is Thor's hammer, like that was like I that inspired like my love for the Marvel universe, and I hope they're able to bring back that kind of. Hype.
That's not what I meant. I miss the actual connectivity that matters. Mm-hmm. The original Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America movies mattered for the Avengers movie.
Yes.
What happened in those movies directly affected and led up to the Avengers movie.
See,
the most recent movies, you get a little scene at the end that says, "Oh, this is the next movie we're putting out. It doesn't have anything to do with this, but here it is at the end." We tagged it on the end just to put a little bow on this.
I understand what they had in mind with the streaming aspect of it, but it's just
But they can't even just blame the streaming though, because look at the Eternals.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying there's been a saturation. It's a saturation of Marvel content.
But look at what happens when they slow down and do it correctly. X-Men '97 is amazing. It is probably the best Marvel property that's been released since Endgame.
I've been watching the original before I watch 87 because I've heard good things about 87.
Yeah, 97.
I have no intention.
So good.
I have no intention to watch it. So.
I think Deadpool and Wolverine has the chance. I don't know if they're going to execute. I know we're going to get a very good movie. We're going to get Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know if it's going to fix Marvel.
People have been like, "Oh, it's just going to be it's just going to be fan servicey." But like,
so was the first two.
Shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride. Like, there's it's fucking Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds.
That's been my whole thing with Marvel since the end of Endgame. Shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride. Enjoy what you enjoy about the movie. If there are problems with it, fine. But if there are stuff to enjoy, don't bitch at it just because it's not as good as what came before. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy what you have and bitch about what needs to be bitched about.
I'm ready for the full reboot.
You think it's not even salvageable, just hard wipe?
Well, they hard wipe in the comics all the time.
That's true.
And that could be coming. We could be looking at Secret Wars being...
Yeah, and it could be... They could do it in universe so that it's not actually a new reset. It's just the new normal because, the new Avengers movie time traveled and changed the past, and now everybody looks different or whatever.
They already have the source material for what they need to do. Deadpool and Wolverine smashes box office records. Then Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
There you go.
Boom. And ends the MCU, reboots the new MCU.
He stabs Kevin Feige.
The final shot is them at the Marvel studio.
They they've been teasing things like the idea of bringing the X-Men into the MCU has been it's something that we've wanted to go from the very beginning but couldn't because they were owned by Fox.
Mm.
They've now owned Fox for 7 years, right?
Yeah,
I
because it was I specifically it was around St. Patrick's Day 2019. It was the week of March 17th.
So that's 5 years right there.
Yeah,
so,
at least 5.
So at least 5 years, and this will be the first real
Marvel
crossover
X-Men,
character.
You didn't like the Beast cameo, Loke, that we got 2 seconds of at the end of.
It was Kelsey Grammer.
Oh,
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I like that, but he wasn't a character in the movie. He was the little bow in the cameo at the end. Had he been in more of the movie, I would count that as the first one.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I mean,
so something just came across my desk because this is a real news desk. Have either of you heard of Quests from the Infinite Staircase?
No.
No, but it sounds really familiar.
It is a book releasing in July. That is a collection of first edition adventures for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
I had no idea it was even coming. Is that how little they care about marketing fifth?
Is it coming in with the big 50th anniversary book? Is it going to be like a box set with that?
I don't think so. I think it's just because you can't see that, but it's just a standalone book. It's a standalone book.
When's it released? Because the 1977 origin, or what is it? 1977 to 80. Wait,
it releases.
I don't remember.
July.
It's in
16th.
July.
Yeah, so that's 1 month after the first edition. Actually, it's even the original edition. I know we get in trouble for that on the other show, calling it first edition when it's
this is first edition stuff.
Yeah. So that they're doing original edition in June, and then they're doing first edition in July. Interesting.
But it was a shatter release. I didn't even know it was a thing. Our other show is a D&D show, and we didn't know it existed. That shows you how little they care about 5th edition right now.
Right.
They're working so hard towards 2024 book releases. They don't
Which
care.
were already delayed. To half of them aren't going to be out in 2024.
But don't you worry, because it's going to be backwards compatible. So
yeah, and it's still the new books are still fine. I don't know what you're talking about. The new books, even though they changed all the rules,
not the night for it.
They change all the rules, but it's still 5e.
Where somewhere the pirate captain is just looking around. Or he was drinking from a mug, and now there's beer everywhere. As he's like, they're talking about it without me. Yar.
Oh man, we covered some good stuff tonight, guys.
If you haven't seen Fallout, watch it.
Is there anything coming up in the next week or two that you're excited about? I didn't get I know the House of Dragon is ramping up for
June.
Its release.
That's June.
That's June.
Yeah, House of the Dragon, The Boys season 4, and the Acolyte are all within like the same 2-week period.
We'll have a great ass show then. Cool. Awesome. That's all I've got to say tonight. I think I've spoken enough.
I think by that point I will have seen Furiosa and Strangers Chapter 1.
Okay.
Which Furiosa, apparently Chris Hemsworth lets fucking loose. So I'm looking forward to seeing him go ape shit.
I think he's trying to make it up to those fans for Ragnarok, because he knows he messed up and he's admitted it. But
you mean Love and Thunder, not Ragnarok? Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, yes. Ragnarok was good. Love and Thunder was yes.
And then Strangers Part 1. The Strangers is still one of the movies I almost refuse to watch alone at night because it is so realistically just gritty and scary.
It's about a house break-in, right?
Yes, and it is about as realistic as you can get with a horror movie that has copious amounts of blood. But
Interesting.
it's very good. Very few people involved in it. I think there are 6 main characters. 6 characters on the screen plus 2 more at the end. 8 total people.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's very effective. If you haven't seen The Strangers, I highly recommend it. I actually recommend its sequel, The Strangers Pray at Night, as well. So I'm looking forward to this chapter 1, where I guess it's a prequel to the original Strangers.
So, some of you may have seen, I put out a limited release, my directorial debut, but I've since come up with another idea that I think is kind of funny and based on a true story. So, keep your ears out for that one. But anyways, you guys got anything else to say?
No, I think that's about it.
I'm good. Cool.
This has been Fallout the Show.
Yep, that's trademark. Can't use that.
Oh, yeah.
This
God
has been
damn it, Bolt.
Falling Out on a Show.
This has been Fallout the Unlicensed live streaming show, not affiliated with Bethesda. There you go.
Anyways, I thought we had a great show. I hope if anyone is watching this or at some point in the future watching this, I hope you enjoyed it too. We got a lot coming out in the next few months, so it'll be a good time. Say goodbye, Bolg.
Goodbye, Bold.
Say goodbye, Bolg.
See ya.
I do want to shout out a couple of Fallout content creators that I've been really looking through their stuff, kind of getting some ideas and come up with stuff. Shimapan, her stuff is always great. She's a great content creator for cosplays, props, all that kind of stuff. Kind of gave me some ideas of what to use for the game. And then what's his name? I think his name is Hank, because he says "Hank you very much" at the end of his videos. He puts out a lot of Fallout 4 content, and I've been using that to kind of get ideas of hidden secrets I can be doing. So awesome. I wanted to shout them out and say thank you for your content.
Link them in the comments, and we'll try and send some people their way. But that's going to do it for this episode of Damage Rolls. If you wanted to like us, we are on Facebook, Spotify. The podcast is on Spotify. But Chef Bolg and the Pirate Captain's Recipes for Everything is on Spotify. We're on the socials: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just give us a like if you want. But my name is Mr. Producer. It's been a pleasure hosting as always, and we will catch you guys on the next episodes of Recipes for Everything.